Salutations everyone, and welcome to a game of Black Ops 3. Today we're going to be grading Black Ops 3 in its entirety to let you know about the game in case you're wondering about it. In case you're wondering, should I buy it? Is it good enough? I myself have pretty much skipped the last two Call of Duties because of how terrible Ghost was. Didn't even play Advanced Warfare, and I thought with the Black Ops 3 beta, it gave me enough incentive to come back. So this video is to hopefully let you know if you should come back. So let's start with the connection. The connection gets a B. It's one of the better connections in the COD series. Not the best, but it's pretty stable. Has sometimes trouble transitioning between hosts. But if you hit the start button, it shows your ping and your packet loss. So that is a nice addition that they added to the game. And connection's usually pretty good, so it gets a B. Hit detection gets an A. It's one of the best. It's really on par with Black Ops 2, possibly even better. It has a red indicator when you get that hit marker and you kill somebody, and it still feels good. It doesn't matter what weapon you're using, shotgun, pistol, assault rifle, SMG, LMG, sniper rifle, hit detection's good. The maps gets a D. This is the continuing trend of the Call of Duty series the past few games. Ever since Modern Warfare 3, the maps have just gotten worse and worse. And unfortunately, with Black Ops 3, it continues this trend of being the worst part of the game. The worst part of Black Ops 2 was the maps. Worst part of Ghosts was the maps. Worst part of Modern Warfare 3 was the maps. And the worst part of Black Ops 3 is the maps. They are very poorly made. The structure of each side having advantages over another one many a times, and the B flag in Black Ops 3 on domination is always a hard one to get. That's usually only the case in maybe a couple of maps where like the B flag is just an absolute insane thing to get, but in Black Ops 3 almost pretty much every B flag is like that, so the maps gets a D. And to not help with that, we get spawns, which gets a D-. The spawns are pretty bad in this game. Not Call of Duty Ghost bad, and you don't get spawn trapped as bad as you did in Modern Warfare 2, but pretty close. The spawns do not flip when they should. You often spawn and there's an enemy right next to you, or you spawn and there's an enemy 4 feet in front of you, which isn't fair to them either. So the spawns are just really bad in this game. It makes absolutely no sense. Black Ops 1 had the best spawns in COD history, but Black Ops 2 had some of the best spawns in COD history as well, and then Black Ops 3 just throws it out the window with a D-. Guns gets a C-. It's about, has the average imbalances. It's pretty average, so, a C, but the disparity between the guns is a little bit too high. The LMGs are good, which is nice. LMGs were fantastic in Black Ops 2. The shotguns, however, pretty bad, and the pistols are just lacking. There's only 3 pistols, 1 semi-auto, 1 burst, 1 fully auto, and you can't use secondaries as a very bad primary in this game. You're just not going to do well. The disparity between how good some of the submachine guns are, like the Razorback, or the Pharaoh, and how good some of the assault rifles are, like the Man of War here, or the M8. They're just too good in comparison to the rest of the class. So, about average, but a little below that. Attachments gets a C. Pretty much average showing. The high caliber was a nice addition, but otherwise, really nothing that really changed the game. Equipment gets a C+. The thermite grenades were a very nice addition. However, the mines are easier to see, but they are still there. Just like the IEDs, they're completely overpowered in how they work, but at least they're easier to see, so equipment gets a C+. Perks gets a B. Nothing too strong or absolutely necessary in your kit. Engineer spots score streaks now, which is very nice. Ghost works as it should for a stealth perk, and there's really no all and be all perk that you absolutely need on every single class in order to be competitive, so that is nice. Score streaks gets a C-. The score streaks all have very high costs on average. You need like 5 kills or more than that in TDM to get a UAV, and that's a really high cost, and then everything is even higher. Lightning Strike is higher than ever be. The Hellstorm Missile is higher than it's ever was. The choppers are higher than the score cost than they've ever been, and they're pretty underwhelming as a whole. Not as bad as they were in Ghost, where score streaks were pretty much useless, but it's a shame that all of the score streaks have very high costs, and almost all of them are very, very easily destroyed, especially since the anti-air rocket launcher now can shoot up to 4 rockets. One person can take down pretty much every single score streak that is in the air. So that is a bit of a bummer, but I mean, they still help. They still can get you a lot of kills, and they are still useful, so C-. Movement gets a D+. The jumping, the wall running is not good for Call of Duty. It ruins the pace. It even makes the maps worse. It makes the small maps smaller. It makes the medium maps small. And it just makes no big maps in this game, because there are no big maps, and the movement would make it even smaller. It can seem kind of fun and nifty if you pull it off, to your advantage, but as far as like the jumping is too much. It's really hard to hit somebody in the air, and if they're wall running right next to you, it's all over. There's nothing you can do. You can't react that fast. You can't aim that fast, and if they're looking at you, you're dead. If not, they'll land, and you'll just have an awkward encounter. The mantling is pretty good. The speed of the mantling is, I think, one of the best in the COD series, but with this whole, jetpack thrusting while running and nonsense, just not good for the series. The user interface and presentation gets an A+. There's a sweet UI in this game. It's very, very nice. The presentation of the game is fantastic. Has defined, smooth objectives with nice circles around all of your flags. And the flags don't get in your way. Visually, they're not flapping. There's just an indicator on the screen. That is very nice. It's a very, very smooth interface and looks very nice and clean. It gives you a lot of statistics to look over. So the UI and presentation is very, very good. Customization gets an A. I think the best in the COD series. You get the outfits depending on what specialists you use, which aren't too difficult or too easy to get, so it's a nice little benefit. The crypto keys, you get often enough that you continuously get them, but you aren't gonna just completely get everything in the game within just like maybe 10 or 20 hours. You're still gonna have to put more time in to get all of the customization things, which is nice. The emblems is the best that it's ever been, and the amount of layers that you have, and you also have the paint jobs and the gunsmith to give you the most customization possible. Being able to customize your own soldier really doesn't matter all that much in a first-person shooter where you cannot see yourself. But they try to show it off in a couple of the menu screens and after the game is over, which is a nice touch, I guess. But the ability to customize your gun 1,000% more than before just easily makes this the best Call of Duty when it comes to customizing your loadout and your character and the look and cosmetic attachments and things to your gun. Sound gets an A-. The sound is very nice, very crisp. They give you additional sound effects and lots of nice sounding things. I don't know how else to put it, but it sounds nice. The new additional sound effects that they just throw in there for every now and again. The echoes are very nice. The explosions are much more realistic in this game, and the distance you are from a target and the amount of sound that it makes and how it echoes and reverberates off of the environment, I think is very nice. Sound whoring isn't a huge prevalent thing in this game, so take that as you will, whether you like that being a thing or not. But that has been a continuing trend in the COD series for a while now. The specialists, that gets a D+. It's just too imbalanced. It's a welfare system. Everybody gets it 2, 3, 4 times a game, depending on how long those games go. The specialist streaks absolutely ruin search and destroy. If you're a search player, it's all the specialist streaks. They dictate how the game ends. It makes the game almost trivial because you just gotta wait till you get your specialist streaks, then you get a wall hack, or you put a guy down, but he revives himself, or he teleports backwards. So that's lame. Everybody gets it. There's too many of them are imbalanced. You got 2 huge grenade launcher classes. You have ones that help you survive longer, or some that are just useless, like kinetic armor. It's almost never helps. not many of them are within that sweet spot where they have a trade-off, where they give you an advantage and a disadvantage, or just a very small advantage for a very small time. The wall hack thing is kind of annoying, but kind of not that great. The Sparrow has a nice trade-off in that you have that bow, and it puts you at an advantage because you hit somebody, one hit, one kill. It has a nice explosion, but also you're slow to draw the bow, and you can get easily destroyed. Otherwise, you know, you have 2 grenade launchers that just destroy enemies, even one that launches mines that can be, you know, take off, you know, just a little bit after being detonated, and a death machine that doesn't hurt your movement at all. There's just no trade-off with that. And game modes gets a C. Just same old, same old. They had a couple additions, but it's whatevs. They really do not impact the game. So overall, 4 A's, 2 B's, 5 C's, and 4 D's. Obviously, not all of these should be given the same weight in your purchasing decision, but it's really up to you. My final score for the game here is 45 kills, 14 deaths, 10 captures, and 12 defends. The hat trick got the most kills, the most captures, and the most defends. It all really comes down to, is Black Ops 2 the pinnacle of COD for you? Is anything worse than that not going to be good enough? If that's the case, Black Ops 3, probably not for you. If you really hated the last 2 Call of Duties and you just want something better, this is absolutely the right fit. It is a step in the right direction, but maybe for some, not enough. If you didn't like the movement in Advanced Warfare, you're not going to like the movement here, but it's not going to be as bad. If you're a guy who thinks COD 4 and Modern Warfare 2 are the godfather of gaming, and anything worse than that is just garbage, then this is just going to be too different for you. So it really depends on what your tastes are. If you've liked pretty much every Call of Duty, or if you thought Ghosts and Advanced Warfare were enjoyable and worth that purchase, then this one is definitely worth your purchase, because it is better than those games in many, many facets. Unfortunately, the maps and the spawns are very, very bad in this game. Some of the guns are a little too imbalanced. The specialists and the movements just are not a good fit for Call of Duty. But, I mean, the game does have a lot of good things to offer. You can still have fun and still do awesome things with your friends, and still have those awesome beast moments in Call of Duty. Otherwise, this has been Razor. Hope you guys enjoyed, and it's gave you a little bit of insights on maybe purchasing or not purchasing this game if you were thinking about it for the holiday season or some sort of console bundle. That's what I have to tell you guys. It's still pretty fun, but not perfect, or as good as it should have been. Otherwise, see you guys later.